Well, today is about making some subtle changes in your home or in your garden that will, I think, kind of dramatically improve your outlook on life. You may have heard that expression, outer order, inner calm. Well, in this case, I have found that outer changes or outer transformations affect your inner attitude. At least that's how the psychology works for me. So I'm in a little bit of a rut after having been sick. I'm still a little bit tired and a little bit lethargic, and I'm having a hard time kind of getting my mojo back and getting into my daily rhythm. So I thought if I did a little bit of changing around in my kitchen area, it's rainy outside today, that it might kind of help me see my life through a different lens. And so I'm going to change things around a little bit and see if indeed it does help me kind of improve my mojo a little bit. And that leads me to my question of the day. Do you guys find that small changes that you make in your surroundings, even if it's something as simple as moving the coffee pot from one side of the counter to the other side of the counter, or rearranging your furniture, any kind of small change like that, if you find that small changes have exponential value in helping you kind of formulate an attitude adjustment? It does for me, so that's my question of the day. Does it do that same thing for you? So Stuart is going to help me kind of rearrange my breakfast room. This is something that I do typically seasonally, and I have not done it this year, partly because Hubs is always, he just really has difficulty with change, and he likes things to stay the same. So while he is out of pocket, I am going to make this change today, and he's always okay with it once it's actually done, especially if he doesn't have to help me move the furniture himself. I'm also, Stuart, if you don't mind showing into the distance, I'm having the seat cushions on my dining room chairs also recovered with some new fabric, and so I just kind of want to change this entire area, and this will also, I am hoping, help me kind of change my attitude a little bit and give me a little jolt of energy. So Stuart is going to help me. Stuart, you ready to get started?
I am.
Okay, let's do this. Well, one of the things I like about this breakfast room makeover is that it's just so fast and easy, and I also like it because it signals kind of a seasonal change. So let me explain a little bit about why I do it. In the winter, in the fall, in the cool season months, for obvious reasons, the centerpiece of all of our downstairs living is around the fireplace. So obviously we want to be as close to the fireplace as we can, not only for its warmth, but for the ambiance of it, and we just like it being absolutely the focal point of our kitchen living. Well, that's not so much the case in the springtime and in the summertime. And so because it actually feels a little bit more spacious when the breakfast room table is here and the mom and dad chairs are over here. Stuart, you can show how this is a little bit more spacious. And the fact that it just gives me kind of a fresh perspective, I like to change it up a little bit. Now, you may ask, well, can you see the TV from there? And we are not huge TV watchers. And when we do have it on, a lot of times it's for background, or we might watch, a movie or a documentary or something like that. So, Stuart, if you can kind of turn around. So many of you have commented on, do I have a TV in my living room? No, I do not. And if I ever bring one into the living room, it's on a short-term basis. This one is on an arm that can retract and expand according to the placement of the TV, where you're sitting and what you're viewing. So when we're sitting over here, we can easily pull the TV out, position it accordingly, and then retract it back the way it was, flush against the wall. That way it's kind of as unobtrusive as possible. But again, this time of year, we're not watching a lot of TV. We listen more to, I guess, podcasts and to the stereo and things like that. So it's not, let me put it this way, it's not a huge priority. Now, another reason that I like to rearrange this space is because, again, it is a tight space. This is a 1932 house, and furniture is bigger now, people are bigger now, and these areas are now really the heart of the home. And when this house was built, there were servants' quarters, people had servants, and the kitchen and other areas of the home were secondary, and they weren't necessarily their spaces and their measurements weren't necessarily prioritized for ease and for access and for easy navigability, because it wasn't the homeowner that was doing that. It was it was the servants. So all of these spaces are kind of tight, and I do what I can to make them feel larger and, to the extent possible, be larger and more navigable. I did have this a long time ago when we first bought the house. I had this plate rack. It was built by a man in Gore, Oklahoma. He is not there any longer, but it sits pretty flush against the wall. It doesn't protrude too much. And I used to have some Johnson Brothers china in here that was a little bit more traditional, a little bit old-fashioned, and I decided to change that around with something that was just a little bit more neutral and a little bit more modern, and also plates and bowls and things that we use with more regularity. So I can take them off of the plate rack and I can put them directly on the table, and then obviously I can also take them out of the cabinet and put them directly on the table. Now, if any of you saw in Victoria magazine, I can't remember how many years ago it was, and I think they have reprinted at least the garden section of that shoot in one of their special edition magazines this year. If any of you saw that Victoria magazine shoot, they shot inside and outside, and when they did, the table was located here. And I was leafing through that over my convalescence, and I saw that image, and I thought, oh, I didn't change it around, and I wanted to do that. So since Hubs wasn't here and I had Stuart to help me, thank you, Stuart, we very quickly and very rapidly were able to kind of just do pineapple basket turnover. Now, obviously, we just put the basic elements in place. The fun part is yet to come, and that's where I can kind of zhuzh it up a little bit and soften it with some flowers and some fruit and things like that. As always, I suffer the same kind of angst that you guys do about how to hide the detritus of life, and my husband always has lots of, kind of things lying around and all of that kind of stuff, and I'm always trying to think of a way that I can corral it for him but still make it accessible, so I'm thinking through that process too. So this is kind of how it looks now. Tell me which way you like it better. There are pros and cons to both, and it's so fun when there is a seasonal change, because I tell you, the first fire of the season, we will switch it back, and we will be absolutely sitting right by the hearth. So Stuart, I'm going to kind of do some zhuzhing. So you okay with that?
Absolutely.
Okay, very good. And by the way, Stuart has sat in this chair many, many times. The men folk in my life tend to sit in these chairs a lot more than I ever do. I don't sit real often. Stuart, you could probably count on one hand the number of minutes you've ever seen me sit in these chairs. So typically it's reserved for Stuart and Hubs, or Hubs and one of my kiddos, and then we just pull up another chair or turn one of these around when we want to sit and kind of visit in here. But I can sit a four-top in here pretty comfortably. So there is our little bit of a refresh, both in my attitude and in the layout of the breakfast room. So now let's do some fun zhuzhing. Well, in addition to my objective to have an attitude makeover by doing a breakfast room refresh, I also really wanted to declutter and simplify this entire area, because it contains really all of the overflow of life, all of the stuff we don't know what to do with. It just kind of ends up here, because this little area, this square footage, is really where we live most of our life, or at least Hubs does anyway, because he uses his corner as his office, as where he watches TV, where he meditates, where he looks at his iPad, and so it can get really cluttered and messy and a little bit overrun with just the messings of life. So I really like the table over here. That was never a question. I always love the table here because I can sit here now, and Stuart, if you don't mind coming over my way, because I can sit and work at the table or dine at the table and look at my beautiful view. Not too shabby, huh? And I don't mind that it's blocking the fireplace, because I'm not building a fire anyway. So it really gives us a little bit more room. It makes me, interestingly, it makes me more likely to cook, because the table is just right here. So as part of my fluffing, I put in a bouquet of this half fresh, half gone to seed Minoan lace that I love so much. And it's got that kind of trendy look that you see in all of the catalogs and magazines right now, very much like a wildflower meadow look. And I've got it in this picture that my darling daughter-in-law Taylor gave me when I had a wedding shower for her. And then I've got just a simple tablecloth. I love this tablecloth. I've showed it to you guys before. Stuart, we need to put a link to where I got it, because it is very neutral and it can still kind of blend in with the pattern in my window treatments, which now I would not have selected this pattern again, but back then I liked it, and I still like it enough not to change it. So it's neutral enough to, I think, really merge and blend with those without looking like it's just kind of out of place. And then over here, I just repositioned the table. I just have a basket of fruit, because one thing I know for sure, if the fruit is out, Hubs and I will eat it, especially Hubs. Brought in a little cactus, and then I just kind of cleaned up his area. Now he is left-handed, and consequently when he eats, usually he leans over to his right. So I wanted a little kind of a table here that he could eat his yogurt in the morning and things. And then I just kind of cleaned up his space by giving him a basket that he can toss in his cables, his chargers, all of that kind of thing. Now it will stay like this until he gets home, and then and then in short order, it will be great upheaval. But that's okay, because if we don't live in our spaces, what's the point of having beautiful homes anyway? Isn't that right, Stuart?
True.
And in short order, I'm also going to assume that Stuart will be taking his position in the other chair and shooting the bull and telling tall tales with Hubs. Is there some truth to that, Stuart?
Yes, there is.
Yes, there is. So the stage is set for the two of them to have a beer, or to just be a little bit over the top in their storytelling. A couple of other housekeeping things. I'm going to be in Tulsa this weekend from 1 to 3 at Southwood Landscaper and Nursery to do a book signing. And if you're in the Tulsa area, please come by. I'm sorry I had to reschedule that because I was sick this past week, but I'm looking forward to meeting all of you there. And I think, Stuart, you're going to try to go along with me, aren't you? So you can also meet Stuart, but in addition, we might do a little shopping while we're there. I don't know how we could possibly go to a nursery without doing some shopping. The other announcement is I also had to postpone my Wednesday Walkabout Live that was scheduled for tomorrow, or no, last Wednesday. Yeah. And we're not going to do it tomorrow, but we're going to do it a week from tomorrow. So we will do our Wednesday Walkabout Live at 6 Central Standard Time a week from tomorrow, and we will obviously put up the date. And then one more big ask. If you guys have read my book and you enjoyed it and you found it instructive and helpful, if you wouldn't mind going to Amazon and giving me your honest review, hopefully it will be a 5-star review, but give me your honest review of my book. And if you haven't ordered it, you might want to do so. And then also, if you like what Stuart and I are doing here, we're starting to mix it up a little bit. We're going to do some more shorts. We're going to do a lot more lives. We're going to just kind of bring a little bit more energy to this platform. And if you like what we're doing, make sure to subscribe, share it with others, make sure to comment it below, and then make sure to join as a member if you want some additional perks. And just by going to the membership tab and hitting join, it will tell you exactly what those perks are. Obviously, all of this stuff that we've been doing for years is free to you. And more importantly than the content I think that Stuart and I put out are the comments that you guys share with all of the information that you have about your growing zones, your growing challenges, and basically just your life challenges in general as you try to live your own garden-inspired life. So, have I forgotten anything, Stuart?
Nope.
Okay, do we both have an attitude adjustment?
Indeed.
Okay, there you go. Well, there is your video for today. Well, here's a little production secret. Normally, Stuart and I shoot the outfit of the day at the beginning. That way, I'm still kind of fresh if I'm working out in the yard and it's really hot and steamy. And you can tell from this video, because of the arrangement of the furniture, that obviously we are shooting the outfit of the day at the beginning. So, from top to bottom, today I have on some kind of bohemian bone earrings that I got. I am not sure where. This top, a little bit about my wardrobe aesthetic this year is I have noticed that it's, for me, I guess it always has been, but comfort has been especially important to me this year. And I've been ordering my clothes a little bit big just because I really want room to kind of move around in them. And also because it seems to be a little bit trendy right now that your clothes are a little bit big and baggy. And so, hey, I am all aboard with that. This top I got fairly recently online. It is very breezy, very comfortable, very lightweight. I love it. And I also love it because of this. Look at this, you guys. This is really a fun feature. And you can tell this is pretty oversized. But it has tails. So if I wanted to, I could, knot this. I could tie it. I could wear it kind of more as a loose tunic if I wanted to, or if I wanted to do just kind of the loose tuck thing like this. It really lends itself to kind of multiple different looks. And I also love it because I love these two colors together, this orange and this light blue. I think it's really, really vibrant, and I need some vibrancy right now because I still have kind of the post-COVID ennui, and I need something that will just, I guess, kind of just break me out of my lethargy, that kind of zone of just, you know how it is, Stuart, when, yeah. It is, Stuart. So anyhow, that is the shirt. I will put a link to it. Also, these are, you guys saw these last year. I haven't worn them a lot this year, but these are some baggy, loose, kind of stretchy, high-rise jeans. I got these off of Amazon. I really like them. They're fun. You can roll them up or down. They're great to work out in the yard, but they're also great to work around in the house. And then I just have these slip-on little house shoes slash sandals that I got off of H&M. So, Stuart, have I forgotten anything?
I don't think so.
And a little bit of a word on Stuart's attire, because he recently got some new eyeglasses and some new sunglasses, and they have kind of transformed his appearance a little bit. So well done you, Stuart. They look good. Okay, there you go. There is my outfit of the day.